Daljit and I met in Dubai in 2022 and then had our Hindu ceremony in March of 2023 in Mumbai, India. Right after the ceremony, we moved to Nairobi, Kenya, where I work and reside as a British expat. We lived in Kenya together as a family until January 2024 when she returned to India with Jaden. Daljit was very insistent on moving to Kenya and starting a new life there with my daughter and I. She understood the fact that I was still not legally divorced from my first marriage. In fact, my legal counsel at the time sent Daljit's parents a letter clearly stating this fact, to which they gave their blessing to the ceremony. This is why the Hindu ceremony was held in a banquet hall rather than a gurudwara or a mandir, and was purely a non legally binding celebration for our respective family and friends, and for the sole purpose of Daljit being able to move to Kenya. My final divorce did not arrive until January of this year, by which time Daljit had already left Kenya for good. This is something that Daljit is deliberately omitting in her chosen narrative. She was in no way misled about my status as a still married man, and the fact that our celebration in India was not in any way meant to be, nor was it a legal marriage ceremony. For Daljit, to pretend that we entered a legal union is deliberately deceptive and meant solely for purposes of supporting her victim's self portrayal. However, all the legal evidence which is readily available shows that this was purely a celebration of two cultures and religions coming together. I will admit that at the time we both wanted to later legalize our relationship once my divorce came through. After Daljit moved to Kenya, I devoted significant energy, time, and resources to assist her in establishing her business and profile. I introduced her to key media executives and provided her with a complete studio setup for her YouTube channel and podcasts. She made consistent efforts to secure work in India by writing scripts and attempting to market her short films, though they did not achieve the success she hoped. As a supportive partner, I remained committed to backing her projects. Another challenge was the adjustment to a different level of recognition in Kenya compared to what she was accustomed to in India. Daljit found it difficult to adapt to being perceived as a regular member of her community here in Kenya rather than being recognized for her fame and status as an actress, as had been the case for well over a decade in India. As I do take responsibility for my own actions in this scenario, it is important that Daljit recognize that labeling me a cheater and claiming that I had extramarital affairs is hypocritical, given her level of comfort in moving to Kenya to live with me, knowing full well that I was still legally married. In the past 8 months since Daljit and Jaden left Kenya, I found myself subjected to intense scrutiny on social media. Daljit decided to withdraw Jaden from his prestigious British International School in Nairobi after just 4 days of the new term. She then informed my oldest daughter through a voice note and messaged my friends stating her intention to leave Kenya permanently and return to India. For several weeks after Daljit left Kenya, I continued to keep in touch with her and we communicated on a daily basis, where I was verbally abused several times on video and phone calls in the middle of the night. I truly tried my best to ask her to work on a relationship and kept matters private. I asked her to return to Kenya so we could be a family again and work through our differences. It was evident from the interviews she did in Mumbai with the media that she wanted to focus on her career back in India and was not ready for a different lifestyle here in Kenya. I came to peace with her decision and continued to live my life the only way I know how, in a positive manner, not dwelling on the past but rather focusing on my children and career. Despite her Instagram status as proud mummy of three, Daljit has never met my youngest daughter. Furthermore, my older daughter here in Kenya has repeatedly requested that Daljit leave her alone as she does not wish to have any continued relationship with her. Daljit's continued refusal to respect my daughter's wishes is a direct contradiction to her proclamations that she is doing what she is doing for all women. My teenage daughter is a young woman, and Daljit's actions continue to place her under immense mental, social, and psychological pressure. This is heartbreaking as I feel responsible for this continuous, non consensual cyberbullying of an innocent young person. I am urging Daljit to leave my children alone. In addition to the above, Daljit's continued media harassment and bullying has jeopardized and disrupted the careers and family lives of several women globally who happen to be friends or acquaintances of mine, out of which some have even taken legal action against her. Far from being a champion for women, she is intent on destroying the lives of multiple women as she continues to lash out at me, my family, and my friends. In June of this year, Daljit returned to Kenya with the apparent intention of creating turmoil and generating social media content to portray being left homeless. She fabricated a narrative that she had never left Kenya and, under false pretenses, obtained a court order from the Kenyan courts on June 11th to prevent me from evicting her and Jaden, claiming she had no other place to stay. However, she had left for India in January 2024, making the eviction story untrue. She even came to our gated community and pressured the security guards to let her in, which they rightfully refused. My daughter and her friend, who were home alone at the time, were frightened by Daljit and her supposed PR manager's action. For their safety and peace of mind, we had to change the house locks that same day. Last week, while in India for prior commitments, I briefly met with Safina Nazar after finishing a meeting with a colleague as my colleague and I were preparing to leave Mumbai. The three of us had a brief conversation. Unfortunately, unsolicited images and videos from that moment were posted on social media and have been completely misconstrued and twisted by the media, leading to reputational damage, threats to lives, and destruction within families, driven by Daljit's social media followers.